Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football. It's Tottenham against Liverpool tonight in the Carabao Cup. Very excited, sure there's going to be a lot of goals in this one tonight, and you're very, very welcome on the show. Got some controversial topics for you tonight as well. You can bring them, but I'll bring them as well. Just a little bit of a hint of what they're going to be. Quite a range, actually. Man City about to spend money. Does that mean the Premier League have messed up their court case and Man City are confident? On Sky Sports News tonight, Premier League footballer has been accused of sexual offences over the last couple of years. That case is now going to the Crime Prosecution Service to see if it's going to court. That is a current Premier League player. His club will know about it. Has that club made a massive error of judgment if he ends up going to court and they've kept playing him? Interesting about that. And also, just a little bit of a change from some serious stuff. I saw a video that got sent to me today about Matt Letizia really going in on Jamie Carragher and why he got sacked from Sky Sports and Carragher didn't. Controversial opinions. We'll have a bit of an either or on that. So lots to talk about, and we'll be watching this game of football too. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. We've got an exclusive code for you. The code is FOOTY. You can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. So you get 20% off their products and the cost of shipping as well. Free worldwide shipping and 20% off. Loads of stuff. You've got the beard trimmer. You've got the weed whacker for your nose. You've got the lawnmower for down there. Fantastic products with Manscaped. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment or two, but the game is about to start and we are about ready to go as well. I don't know what I've just done there. Lost my live chat. Kim, bring it back to me. Oh, come on. Don't be slow. There we go. Okay, let's get this timer ready. Just about to start. I'll go through the team news as well. I fancy Liverpool. I mean, I tell you what, I had a great time the weekend before Christmas at Centre Parks. You probably saw one of my better match reactions that I think deserves to go down in, you know, it deserves to go down with... Nearly said Lily Phillips. What am I talking about? Deserves to go down with my Mallorca video. It was when I came through the trees singing Feliz Navidad after Villa had beaten City. But the next day in the Premier League, I was having a few more beers and watched an absolute cracker, a Christmas cracker, that may have been forgotten because it happened the weekend before Christmas. Spurs-Liverpool was a bloody brilliant game the weekend before Christmas, wasn't it? And I think we've all forgotten about it because Christmas is so hectic on and off the pitch. So I'm hoping we're going to get a bloody good game here. Both teams have gone quite hard as well. Strong, which might surprise some of you. I mean, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me just get the stats carousel rolling round here. Don't forget Manscaped, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. But that's the Liverpool team. They're obviously away, 2 legs. But... obviously, they've all got 2 legs. Imagine a footballer that didn't have 2 legs. Will there ever be a footballer with 1 leg? And I don't mean a bionic leg. I mean 1 leg hopping around. I hope so. I really do. You know, that's. I really do hope we see that one day. That would be an amazing thing to see. Anyway, lineups are this. I don't think we will see it. I just don't know how it would work. Alisson in goal, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, Tsimikas. So it's a little bit changed, to be honest. Having said that, Gravenberch, McAllister and Jones is their best midfield. Obviously, Szoboszlai's injured. Salah, Gakpo, Jota. So it's a strong Liverpool team. Gakpo's in down the left-hand side here. Let's just see what happens. He's already scored 1 against United. He's a bit greedy here. He's ignored passes, but he does play a pass. Now it's going to go wide to Bradley, and he won't keep that in. Spurs, Kinksky in goal. Who's bloody Kinksky? He's the new goalkeeper, isn't he? They only got him last week. So Kinksky's in goal. Spence, Gray, Dragusin, Porro. Bergvall, Bentancur, Bissouma, Son, Solanke, Kulusevski. He's taking this seriously. I bloody knew he would. And just taking this seriously. well, at the end of the day, you've got to do it, And yeah, he's taking it seriously. Liverpool, Trent on the bench, Diaz on the bench, Robertson on the bench, Canate on the bench. So he's left a few players out, but Spurs definitely taking this very seriously. And Liverpool's team's quite strong as well. Do you think Liverpool will beat Forest, says Daniel? I'm looking forward to that game next week. I think Liverpool will beat them, yeah. But imagine if they didn't. Imagine if they didn't. Do you think Spurs can do it? I hope so. I mean, obviously, I'd rather Spurs win than Liverpool for obvious reasons, but I think Liverpool will win. I actually think Man United played very well against Liverpool on Sunday, and I think some people have been a bit disrespectful of Liverpool and said, "Oh, they didn't, they weren't at their best." I think they did play quite well. Yeah, get your controversial opinions in. Get your either-ors in. We didn't have many either-ors last night. I've got an either-or for you to start off with, actually. I won't do that one yet. It's a bit controversial. What was it I was going to do? I had one in my head today. It was to do with this game. Oh, I know what it was. Either-or. Son or Diaz. I think that should be closer. And if it's not close, that's just people going on name. I think that's a closer thing than people think. Spurs on the break here with Bergvall, who I do really like, actually. I like Bergvall. I think he's reminds me a bit of a young Frankie de Jong. He's got that sort of vibe to him. Hi, Mark. What's your thoughts on Elon Musk rumours wanting to buy Liverpool? Well, I know a few Liverpool fans, and they don't want him. And Liverpool are not. Liverpool's fan base is probably different to every other fan base in England. They are very much socially aware, is what I would say. They have their morals, and some people ridicule them, but I don't know that they'd be all over an Elon Musk deal. Oh, Bergvall's in. Some of them will, but I don't think it'd be universal. Yeah, let's just take the money. Porro, he's got a lovely cross on him, and he's won a corner. Thanks for your super chat anyway, Guns. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Busy day today. Sad day. You know the podcast that we had at Solihull Moors, the pub? We had to dismantle it today. We've left. Goal! Save! Not a goal! Son put a cross in. Dragerson steered it towards the goal, and Alisson saved it. Oh, what's going on here? What is going on here? There's a player down. Well, Dragerson was upset about missing the chance and then immediately sprinted over to the player. So, camera's not on the player. Don't know who the player is, but they've took the cameras away, which is always a concern. Guesswork, head clash, but didn't see what happened. Yeah, chance came in. Son crossed it. Dragerson steered it towards the goal. And instantly a stretcher going out. I mean, at the very least, this is another injury. It's Bentancur, apparently. Fell on his head, says Matthew Park. How are you today, Mark? Says Giles. Thanks for asking. People don't normally ask that. I'm all right. Busy day. It was a bit sad to be dismantling the bar at the podcast. Podcast's still going to carry on. Obviously, you can check that out on Spotify. Yeah, it just the reason we've left is because we were sort of doing this partnership with Solihull Moors that never really materialised into what we were told it was going to be, but mainly we thought we were getting a podcast space, and on the weekends it was being used as a box for games, so we had to dismantle it every bloody week that they played, and even when we were doing the podcast, they'd always be cutting the grass. So it wasn't viable as a podcast place. So we've been looking for a while, and basically the renewal of the contract came up a month ago, and it just didn't make sense to commit for another 12 months. So we're looking for somewhere to put it back. We took the set apart. It's gone into storage. So the Goldbridge Arms is still a thing. We just got to find somewhere to put it. But as it's a podcast, we can just do it audio for a bit, which is why we've not been on YouTube. But it will continue as a podcast for the short term. And then once it comes back, we'll get it back. I love the channel from a Liverpool fan, says Meter. You're very welcome. We've got quite a delay going on here. Bentancur apparently landed on his head. We've not had any replays. Obviously, thoughts are with him at the moment. These things happen in football, unfortunately. It is a physical game, and a fast game as well. And main thing is that he's getting the medical attention that he needs. I think Van Dijk's just been getting a few tactical things there. Doesn't look good for him. I don't think it looks, I mean, not in a life-threatening way, obviously, thank God for that. I just don't think it, I think he's had a bit of a whack on the head. And obviously, you've got to be very careful about that. Obviously, Ange will be primarily bothered about that, but it's another injury as well. Get your questions in while we're waiting here. I mean, this is going to add a bit of time on at the end, isn't it? Absolutely fine. I'm not criticising that. Brennan Johnson's warming up. No Kulusevski tonight for Spurs either. What's the story with that? Oh, no, he is playing, sorry. You know why I didn't think Kulusevski was playing? It's because he hasn't had the ball, but we've only been playing for a couple of minutes. Apparently, Mike... Oh, no, I'm not reading that out. We don't know what happened. I mean, I could probably rewind it. I'm sure some of you have as well, but it's some sort of head injury. Looking at the players, I don't think that they're massively concerned. Kulusevski's over there at the moment. Walked away. So I'd say it's just, make sure he gets the right medical care. Son or Diaz? Actually, let's discuss that. First, either or of the evening. Son or Diaz? 56%. Oh, I know what we can talk about while we're waiting. I got sent a link today. It's an interview that Matt Le Tissier has done on some podcast. It's had a couple of 100,000 views already, so there's obviously people interested in it because Matt Le Tissier has not been on Sky for years. Used to be on Soccer Saturday. I don't think it was brilliant Soccer Saturday, but it was definitely better than it is now. Basically got the sack from Sky. So he was talking about how he got the sack. But then he was telling a story about Carragher, saying that he'd mentioned about Carragher spitting, and Carragher got hold of his number and spent 10 minutes shouting at him down the phone about he shouldn't have said that. And Le Tissier apparently said to him, well, you did do it. Everybody saw it. So I've got a right to talk about it. Anyway, it sort of goes on to pose the question, was Sky right to sack Letizia when they didn't sack Carragher for spitting at a child? And I mean, it's quite interesting, actually, because I suppose there is an element of double standards there. Look, I've never met Carragher and I've never met Letizia. Will's met Carragher, and I like Will, and he said Carragher's dead nice, good guy. I think he's an entertaining pundit, Carragher. So, you know, I do believe in rehabilitation. But let's not forget, it's very easy to sort of say, well, Carragher should have got sacked and Letizia shouldn't or whatever. But I remember Letizia saying when Christian Eriksen had his heart attack, he basically sort of alluded that it was because of the jab, the COVID jab, which Eriksen hadn't even had. And I think the trouble with Letizia is he's got beliefs, which everybody's entitled to, but when you're expressing beliefs that are not founded or well researched and you're on the mainstream, I think you're on borrowed time, aren't you? So I personally think, we're just filling a bit of time here, but I was going to talk about it anyway. I think Letizia was doing quite a lot of things that were, you know, making it pretty easy for a mainstream outlet to move him on. And obviously there's an element of bitterness there. Whether they should have sacked Carragher or not, I don't know. I don't know where I sit on that. I mean, it was disgusting what he did, but it's one incident. Do you end somebody's career because of that? Anyway, that's filled a bit of time. Get your comments in. And Bentancur is going off on a stretcher to an applause. Probably going to get 12 minutes added on at the end of the first half now. 14 minutes, but I think that injury happened after 2. Hawker said it was a good interview with Matt Letizia. I enjoyed it. I don't normally watch stuff on YouTube, but I actually did enjoy it. As I say, whenever I get interviewed on stuff, I really do it. I really enjoy it. I just don't get to do it very often. So I did enjoy it. Right, we're up and running now. Brennan Johnson is on. Bentancur is off. Spurs have got a corner. Easy catch for Alisson. What do you think tonight's score will be, says Callum? I'm going to go Liverpool 3-1. X has given us a Agony Bridge question. I've just split with my girlfriend after 2 years. Any tips on how to deal with it? Love the content. My tips would be this. Get a piece of paper, write down all the things that were good about being with your girlfriend, and then all the things that you'd like to do but you couldn't do because of your girlfriend. In fact, forget that. Don't remember any of the good. She's dumped you. Don't write anything good down. Write all the things that you like to do that you didn't get to do much of when you were with her, and then start doing them. Obviously, if you want to shag a sheep or something like that, I'm not condoning that. But what I mean is, like, go out with your mates, play a bit more of your PS5, watch a bit more porn, that sort of stuff. And you'll see the positive in the end of the relationship then. It's Salah. Goes for a throw-in. Would you rather Rashford or Calvert-Lewin, says Wretch? I mean, look, I want Rashford to go for many reasons, but I still think he's a good player. Thanks for that, X. Hopes that's helped you. I think that was actually very good advice. That's why I do Agony Bridge, because I actually genuinely think my advice is good. AJ says, thanks for the community and the United Stand. I live in Southern California and the fires are devastating LA. Many friends and family have lost their homes. Football is a nice distraction. I can't believe that, AJ. I can't believe that. And look, you know what? There are a lot of tragedies that take place around the world and a lot of natural disasters. And I'm not naive enough to say that this will get a lot more focus because it's in LA, in what is primarily quite a expensive suburb, etc. But that doesn't make it any the less more shocking. And what do you do? What do you do in the face of, you know, oh my God, what's this keeper doing? He's all right, he's got away with it. Sorry, the ball went back to this Kinkski, and he was playing juggle, and he nearly lost the ball to Jota, but he's all right. But yeah, what do you do? Wind speed like that, fire's raging out of control. Fire doesn't go, I'm not going to burn your big condo down in LA. I hope I've got that word right. Imagine if it means something else, like cock. Yeah, condo is short for condominium. It's a residential unit in a building or complex that is owned individually by the person, people living it. Yeah, that's fine. I do worry about using words I don't really understand. Spurs grey coats and tracksuits look awful. They look like the clouds just before a bad day of rain, and their motto is dare to do. Blimey, says Benny Custard. Thanks for the super chats. Well, look, one thing about this game is it will be good. We're going to get quite a lot of added time at the end of the first half, but I think Spurs will be reasonably happy with the opening few minutes here. They've managed to get quite a lot of the ball. Will says, I've watched back the Bentancur incident and it looks very concerning. Mike Koch says, I've been wondering why you never read my messages. My last name rhymes with Scotch, not what you think. Cheers, mate. Well, that's why I don't read them. Because if you say Mike and Cock straight after each other, it sounds very rude. Arteta out, says Zetty. You know what? If I hadn't been so busy today, like I said, I've been over at Solihull Moors all day, taking down the... well, not I didn't take it down, but, you know, helping, you know, clear out the space. I was intending to do my normal 10-minute That's Football upload, and it was going to be about Mikel Arteta talking about the ball. I'm a big fan of Arteta, and I think he's done a great job at Arsenal. And I think some of the entitlement from Arsenal fans is not surprising as usual. But I don't think he helps himself with comments about the Carabao Cup ball not being very good. Now, it sounds a bit like Blue Peter here, but it just so happens that because I like them, I do each year tend to get the official balls. Sometimes they get sent to me, sometimes not. So I have here an official Carabao Cup ball and an official Premier League ball. And I can tell you, this is not like a 20 quid one. This is about 100 quid to get that. And again, this is not a 20 quid one. This is a proper one. I have used these in the living room, obviously not outside because they're not muddy, but I've still, you know, blasted the shit out of them, done keepy-ups with them. This is a lovely ball. You'd be more than happy to be playing that down in your local park. Lovely ball. The way Arteta's talking about it, he thinks it's one of them shoot balls from when you were bloody, you know, that goes around the beach. Nothing wrong with it. So I just think it's really bad. The reason you're not scoring goals, Mikel, is because you haven't bought a striker, and Havertz, Mr. Bloody Sitter, and Jesus ain't good enough. So that's why you're not scoring goals. It's got nothing to do with the balls. Nice pair of balls, I know. Yeah, thanks. Jokes aside. But that you know, that Carabao Cup ball is very nice. And also, Puma are going to be doing the Premier League balls next year. Look at Derek laughing at me behind. Cheeky devil. Cheeky Derek. Mark, thoughts on Potter to West Ham? We will be talking about that. Yes. I mean, I think West Ham have embarrassed themselves a little bit with keeping Lopetegui. I felt a bit sorry for Lopetegui. I always said, you can check my tweets, you can check the podcast, never felt Lopetegui was going to work. And it didn't. And I think the writing's been on the wall for a long time. But I did feel sorry for him this week because he should have gone on Monday and they've not done it till Wednesday. I think Potter, I like Potter, but I was saying this to Will today. the thing about Potter is that he's done really well to maintain a reputation on very little in the last few years. Because when he was at Brighton was a long time ago. And although he was good at Brighton, Brighton weren't as good as they were under De Zerbi. And they did draw a lot of games. They couldn't score. And at Chelsea, they couldn't score. So the big question mark with Potter is, yes, he's a hipster coach. He likes to play out from the back. But his teams don't score a lot of goals. And West Ham, under Lopetegui, couldn't score goals. So I don't know that Potter's going to be successful, really. It should be a better brand of football. Here's Gakpo. Lays it off. Salah! Wide. Ian says, who went down for Spurs? Bentancur. Thank you very much for your super chat. Joshua Gray, thank you very much for your super chat as well. And Bruno Ribeiro, what a name, says, Benfica fan here. United have let an absolute monster of a left-back join us. Alvaro is perfect for Amorim and cheap buyback clause. What a player. Yeah, I don't know why we don't do it. Constantine says, I thought I was the only one in my pyjamas. Well, I don't normally have my pyjamas on, but I had a bath. And it was a lovely bath. And I just thought, I had a bath at about 6:30. It's freezing cold in the UK at the moment. So by the time I finish this, it's going to be about 10:30. I'm not having a bath at 10:30. What's the cut-off for having a bath? You can't have a bath after about 9 o'clock. So I had a bath at about 6:30. And when I got out, I thought, what's the point in putting my jeans back on? So I put my pyjama bottoms on. Cosmo says, my school in LA has burnt down. That's sad news, mate. Thanks for your super chats. Who's the most versatile Premier League player ever? Who asked that? That's a good question. Robster. Nice ball into Salah. I'll give you one. James Milner. James Milner comes to mind. He could play a lot of positions. JTX Gaming's with me. Yeah, I think Milner. There's another one as well. Gareth Barry. Again, he was quite versatile, wasn't he? No, I think when we're talking about versatile, we're talking about players that could play multiple positions. John O'Shea, good one, yeah. I'd say Milner. I think that's the one. I mean, he started off as a striker at Leeds. Is he retired now, Milner? I presume he has. But no, he's at Brighton, isn't he? Is he still at Brighton? No, he's not retired. What wins in a fight? A silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear, says George. I think we've done this one before, and I think we all know that it would be a grizzly bear, 100%. I actually think I could knock out a silverback gorilla, and I'm not even joking, but I definitely couldn't knock out a grizzly bear. Let's put it in. AI will tell us. Grizzly bears are larger and stronger and would likely win in a fight. Although a silverback gorilla is very fast, strong, and has a longer arm span, it is unlikely it could defeat the much larger and faster grizzly bear in a fight. I'll tell you what bear I would knock out, Yogi Bear. Boo Boo would be picking him up and taking him back to the hospital. I'd absolutely batter that twat. What wins? Yeah, I've done that one. Anastasis, thank you very much for yours. Is an injury to Kwanzaa here for Liverpool. Getting a few injuries tonight. Pratic says Ruben Amorim played in many positions. Fires are terrible. My uncle passed in a beer fire. Rupert the Bear, says Oliver. Paddington Bear. I'd just kick him over like a rugby ball. Little posh twat. Not because he's posh, just because if we're having a fight, that's what I'd do. Winnie the Pooh, says Greg. He literally would shit himself. Rich David says, advice on liking a girl, but what? Advice on liking a girl, but too nervous to message. Another player's coming off here. Kwanzaa's coming off and Endo's coming on. Rich David wants advice on liking a girl, but too not. This game's going on till bloody midnight at this stage. We've only played about 5 minutes. Anyway, advice on liking a girl, but too nervous to message. Mate, you live in the easiest time in the world. I was talking about this over Christmas. When I was a lad, we didn't have mobile phones. We certainly didn't have the internet. So you literally, the most cowardly thing you could do is get your mate to go and ask her, which was always dangerous because if you had a confident mate to go and ask a girl out for you, sometimes they'd come back and say they've said no, but they're going out with me, and you'd wonder, did they even ask for me? So you had to put your, you had to be more upfront. In these days, you can just drop a WhatsApp, slide into the DMs. Just do it, Rich. Do it. Op says, bro is in his 40s and wears pajamas. I don't even get what that is, mate. Hopefully you'll live to your 40s. Nothing will happen before then. But when you are, and you've got your pajamas on, you'll realise that age is just a number. I never really understand why people go at people for people's age. Look, Gary Lineker's in his 50s, probably 60s, he wears white trainers. Still looks good for it. Zero's offended. He says, what makes you think you can knock out a gorilla? Just backing myself, really. Just, I know myself and I know how quick I am. And I just can imagine it getting really angry. And as it comes towards me, I just throw a fake left, dart back. It leaves itself wide open and then bang, straight on the chin. And it just falls over with a look of respect and unconsciousness. Hi, Mark. Thoughts on Edson Alvarez joining Man United? As a Mexican, I'd love to see another like Chicharito represent the Reds. Cheers from SF, says Oswaldo. Look, I like Alvarez. It always amazed me that Ten Hag was obviously picking out players that he'd managed before and ignored Alvarez. So we've had 2 early changes here. Bentancur's gone off with a serious head injury by the looks of it. And then Kwanzaa's gone off with a leg injury. Jace says, I read a random fact that the UK has got more tornadoes than any other country. Is that actually a common concern there? I'd never have guessed that. No, tornadoes. I think we used to have a lot of planes called tornadoes. I don't think we actually have the windy one very often. Could we get a Six Nations watch-along, says Henny. I'd have to watch the Six Nations for that to happen. Flores says, when you were younger, did you have to send messages via carrier pigeon? They did send messages through carrier pigeon, but we used to use the Royal Mail mainly, which was posting letters. Here's Jota. That's going to be a foul. Don't give him a yellow. Oh, he is going to give him a yellow. I don't think that was a yellow. Basuma doesn't contest it, but I don't think it was a yellow, really. I don't think that needs to be a yellow card, really. A bit harsh, I think. Do you think you would be good on the Traitors, says Ross? I don't watch it. I don't watch it. I don't get what the people go mad for it, don't they? But I don't watch it. Six Nations doesn't start till the end of Jan. Is the United stand coming to the US for the Super Cup? Says who to blame? What Super Cup? Elliot Kershaw says, would you rather live forever or die right now? Oh, I'll take live forever, thanks, on that choice. If you could shoot... Oh, Chad, I'm out. So if anyone wants to keep doing these silly things, I'd rather talk about football. So this is the last one. I'm not going to start doing silly things. I mean, I take the either or animal ones quite seriously, but I'm not getting involved in stuff like this. Sick of Arsenal fans, says Goldio. Had two at work today banging on about lack of transfers and bad decisions, except you're just not good enough to win the Premier League. There we go. Chad says, if you could shoot 5 liquids out of each of your fingers, what would they be? Only one hand. Yeah, I've got no interest in this, really. Hand wash, because that would be quite useful. I don't know. Radox for being in the shower. Pizza says, a nice cold beer or a chilled wine. I don't like cold wine. I'm a red wine drinker, and red wine, you don't want that cold. You want red wine at room temperature, thanks. I don't like white wine. I can't stand white wine. I just don't like white wine. I just don't like white wine, right? Just don't put it anywhere near me. Rosé, I think, is a bit too sweet. Room temperature red wine. Get in the bin. So I'd rather have a chilled beer than a chilled wine. Have you ever tried red wine and lemonade? No, neither have I. It's disgusting. Hi, Mark. What do you attribute most to Bournemouth and Forest's success this season? Good question, Sully. I think it comes down to a number of things. You can't dismiss the fact that not playing in Europe is and not being deep in the Carabao Cup is a help because they're playing a lot less games, which means they can get their intensity up. I think neither team has had any real injury crisis as well, so that helps. But thirdly, and probably most importantly, it comes down to having a collection of players that are willing to commit with everything they've got to the manager's vision. And that's a very powerful thing. We see it at Fulham quite regularly. If you can get 10, 15 players that are completely together and united behind the manager's vision, all right, they might not be as good as Man City on their day, but they'll get more points than Man City because Man City have got problems. And I think consistency of performance is why these teams do so well. Nicholas de Souza's Mark, can you ask Evan why he won't adopt me? Evan, why won't you adopt him? This game needs a goal. Although it's deceptive because we're going to get about Porro. Terrible pass. Mark, I might be slow on this, but did you know Graham Potter has signed for West Ham? Yes, Khalid, we've spoken about it. Zero says, a gorilla would have a field day with you. Do you think United will beat Rangers, says Greenfire? I'd be very disappointed if we didn't, with all due respect to Rangers. It's at Old Trafford, isn't it? I think if it was at Ibrox, it might be, tougher. Dead Zone says Tarantino, Scorsese or Nolan? Kevin Nolan? No, you're talking about Batman Nolan, aren't you? He's done some good films, but I don't think he can be in the same category as Tarantino and Scorsese. And obviously Scorsese's got to be ahead of Tarantino. Nice ball into Jota. Into Simicas. He won't keep that in. I think both teams have been quite wasteful with the final pass so far. All a little bit... maybe it's because it's the Carabao Cup. Tom said if there was sorry, what was that? If there was non-Premier League, if there was one non-Premier League team you could delete from history, what team would it be? Oh, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? MK Dons a space. I don't mind MK Dons actually. I don't really think I hold an opinion on that actually. Leeds, no. I like rivalry. That's what makes football good. Hashtag United. No, I wouldn't do that. Who said that? That's not funny. Hi, Mark. What's your dream Premier League lineup excluding top six? What does that even mean, Lewis? What's your dream Premier League lineup excluding top six? Oh, mate, you're asking too much of me there. That takes too much brain power. I just want to chill and watch football and answer easy questions. Because I've got to look at the league, then I've got to look at all the players. It just takes too long. I'd definitely put Anthony Robinson in it, though. Nice ball into Son. He won't get there. Oh, see, again, it's just... The final pass is just not there. Is TUSFC coming back? Yeah, I've got to start playing the AFC again, but to be honest with you, I normally end up taking a break in January because it just gets a bit hectic. Good tackle. There's a lot of football in January this year as well. I don't know why, but I'm very happy that we haven't done the winter break. You know the winter break where they do the... Everyone gets 2 weeks off. So you get half Premier League games one weekend and half Premier Leagues the other. Best non-United book you've ever read. Yours is great, says Josh. Thank you very much for getting it. What, football or... I quite liked Paul McGrath's book. I read that years ago. Tony Adams' book's quite good as well. I quite like autobiographies, so... And I love football, so if you can give me a player that had an interesting... I think it's always... I like autobiographies. They're shit now, by the way. I haven't read a good football autobiography for ages, but we went through a bit of a boom in the mid-90s to the early noughties. I'd say from about 95 to 2005, you got really good autobiographies where people would admit, you know, that they shagged a prostitute when they were married or were doing hard drugs or drinking 20 cans, whereas nowadays players won't do it because even if they've retired, they still want a job on Sky. So it's rubbish now. I read an autobiography about 10 years ago of a current pundit, and it was like, so, yeah, it was crap. Do you think we can get 100 million for me? I tell you what, non-football book I enjoyed, The Beach by Alex Garland. I think it was just a time in my life, and I don't think the film was great, but I loved the book. It was just very escapism, and yeah, I loved it. And American Psycho, which had for that 2 weeks I was reading that. Bloody hell. But I like books that take you into that world, you know. Is Akinfenwa the most unlikely footballer you've ever seen, says Constantine? No. I think when you've watched, people like Jemba, it's there's plenty of people I've watched play football and gone, how the fuck have you made it? Do you think we can get 100 million for Mainu, says Banda? I'd hope not. I don't want him to go. Howdy, Mark. Do you watch any F1? I do. I'm an Eagle. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but if it gets good again, I will. Mark, Casemiro, Anthony Mount, 200 million, great business. Who's doing that then, Marcus? Isak or Haaland? Hey, I'm going to do that as an either or. That is a bloody good either or. I've already done one. Son Diaz, Son won. But if you've got any good ones, let us know. Isak or Haaland? Would you rather save a last-minute penalty, score a winner, or captain a victory at Anfield, says Lumen? Well, I don't really like goalkeeping, even though I'm actually very good at it. So I'd rather score a winner. Here's Salah. Goes wide. Can they get the final pass right here? Into Tsimikas. He surely scored. He tried to pass. I'd have had a shot. Should have had a shot there. Henry says, squash the beef with Gary Neville and bring us that collab. Mate, I don't have beef with anybody. I just say what I think because I think that's what should be done. You're allowed to have an opinion. So I don't have a beef with Gary Neville or anybody else. I'm happy to collaborate with these people. It's not from me. I don't have the ego. Hi, Mark. Did you play Sabutio growing up, says Sir Pork Stick? Yes, I did. Are you going to be at Wembley on 8th of March, says Sam Bristow? That's the Sidemen game, isn't it? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Peter Parker says, help me out, Mark. I've got a girl chatting to... What? Help me out, Mark. A girl I've been chatting to takes hours, sometimes days, just to reply to my messages. Is it worth continuing with? No. At best, she's rude and unreliable. At worst, she's messaging loads of other people. Hunter says, have you had any near-death experiences? Yes. Would love Ronaldinho to do a book full of strippers and coke. If they tell the truth, football books are great, Fraser. Name one player you trust from 2020s and one from each of the last 2 decades that can individually win you a Champions League final as underdogs. What the fuck is that question? Right, mate, it's nearly 9 o'clock. I can't answer though. I'm not the bloody Riddler. It's not Batman. Name one player you trust from the 2020s and one from each of the last 2 decades that can individually win a Champions League final as underdogs. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean, Rubble? I'm sure it made sense in your head, but that is a head mess, mate. I don't even know what that means. There was another question here. Better question. If you had the option, says Chad, would you sign Isak or Gyökeres? Isak is Premier League proven, but Ruben already has experience with Gyökeres. I think I'd go Isak over Gyökeres, mate. Yeah. That was an exam-style question, wasn't it? You know, you've got a bag of grain and a boat. On the other side of the river is a fox, and you are in the boat on one side with the grain and the chicken. How do you get the grain across without somebody getting it ate? You eat the bag of grain, go over to the other side, throw the fox in the river, cook the chicken for tomorrow, and then wait for a crap when the grain comes out. I bet that's a fail, but actually could work. Liverpool, Tsimikas, headed away by Dragerson. 11 minutes added on in this first half. Gravenberg versus Bruno Guimaraes, says Rohan. And I believe that Tottenham... I'll do that one, Rohan. I believe that Tottenham have only one trophy in the last 25 years. Can they still be considered a top team, says Kesman. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think Tottenham do get invited into the traditional top 6, and you sometimes do wonder why. Look, even in my lifetime, I don't know why. Tottenham have never had. I don't think even in bloody Ricky's lifetime. Prince Charles's lifetime. Yeah, Spurs are a funny one because they are always included in the traditional top 6. But what traditional what? They've never had a period where they've won major trophies. Like even when I was growing up, they won the FA Cup in '91. I don't think they won anything else. I don't remember them winning anything else. What's the last 3 trophies that Spurs won? They won the Worthington Cup, didn't they, in '08? Is Gakpo. Oh, Salah. Greedy Salah. Yeah, greedy Salah. Should have left that. Matthew says, put some respect on the Audi Cup. Yeah, FA Cup in '91, Worthington Cup in 2008. What was the other trophy they won? Probably there used to be a song with, there was these couple of Cockneys called Chaz and Dave. And they used to do songs like Rabbit, 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 Rabbit. People love it. I don't know why. Cockneys love them. And they had a song called, about, they're Spurs fans, and they had a song about Spurs win the cup when the year ends in 1. So I think they must have won the trophy in 81 or whatever. But it's, oh no, good block by Liverpool. I mean, what I'm trying to say is if you did it based on trophies, who are the top 6? If you did it on trophies won in the last 50 years. Oh, shot by Gakpo from distance straight at the keeper. If you did it based on trophies in the last 50 years, who would be the top 6 clubs? Maybe it is Spurs. That's what I'm trying to say. Definitely Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Man City. Are Spurs 6th when it comes to trophies won in the last 50 years? Everton won the league in '85. Villa won the league in the early '80s and the European Cup. And didn't Villa win a... I'm sure Villa won a Rumbelows Cup as well. Newcastle haven't won a cup of tea, Joshua. They won a bloody thing. Yeah, Villa and Forest have won the European Cup. Forest won the European Cup back-to-back in the late 70s, I think. Leicester won the league. Yeah, but I don't think you can put Leicester in the traditional top 6 because they won the league. Like I think you've got to have a period of sustained success to be in there. But I think Spurs just get there. I think there is a traditional top 5, and that's Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, and Man City. And I think 5 they like to have 6, so Spurs get invited in. Good question, Kesman, though. You've generated a conversation there. Mark, milk chocolate cheesecake and onion crisps and a nice Chardonnay. Try it. Oh, no. I've read that wrong. Marcus S says, milk chocolate, cheese and onion crisps and a nice Chardonnay. Try it. I tell you what I like to do. Wine gums and a packet of ready salted in your mouth at the same time. It's a weird sensation, but it works. Who is most underrated by opposition fans, Keane or Neville? Henny. Well, I think Keane's rated, and I don't think Neville is, so it'd have to be Neville, wouldn't it? Curtis Jones is bang average. This is Cameron Eriksson. Controversial. Talking about controversial, big topic at half-time we'll be talking about in a few minutes. Very big topic. Very, very big topic. We don't just do banter here. Friends or How I Met Your Mother, Paul, says Goldio. And Colin Deere says, Keith Gillespie's autobiography is a great read. Very open about how he squandered his money away on gambling and how he ended up in a firefight with Shearer in Dublin. Didn't Spurs win the Carabao Cup as well, says Stan? I'll tell you what Spurs have won. Tottenham trophy and honours. It's on their website. Oh, won't load. Page not found. That's a shame, because it actually is called Tottenham's Hotspurs Trophies and Honours, and it's their official website. And you click it and it says 404 error, page not found. I'm joking. Well, 1901 FA Cup, 1919-20 season, Division 2, 1921 FA Cup, 1949 Division 2 champions, 1950 Division 1 champions, 1960-61 double winners, League and FA Cup, 62 FA Cup, 63 European Cup winners, 67 FA Cup, 71 League Cup, 72 UEFA Cup. So basically, if you're a Spurs fan in the 60s and 70s, you were the equivalent of Chelsea. Here's Son down the left-hand side. Bergvall header straight at the keeper. Yeah, 73 League Cup winners. 81 FA Cup. Ozzy Ardiles. Ricky Villa. I remember that goal. Ricky Villa. 82. Oh, no. They won the FA Cup 2 years in a row. 81 and 82. There you go. History lesson. 84 UEFA Cup winners. 91 FA Cup. 99 League Cup. 2008 League Cup. So there you go. They've won 3 trophies in the last 34 years. FA Cup 91, 99 League Cup, and 2008 League Cup. So realistically, I think that's why they're in the traditional top 6, because they've won 3 trophies in the last however many years. Can you do cooking with Goldbridge? I would love to, Marcus. I would like to start bringing it back. That's all I can say. What are you watching at the moment? Rivals on Disney. Bloody love it. I love the 80s and I love nostalgia, and I really love how creative TV was in the 80s and 90s. So I'm loving it. And it's got loads of sex in it, but that's not got nothing to do with it. Dimitri says Spurs trophy cabinet is as empty as Mark's pyjama pockets. But my pockets aren't empty though, mate. Would Solanke have been better at Arsenal? I actually think Solanke at Arsenal would be good. I do agree. It's funny how it says it's half time here, look, because the clocks ran out. It's not half time. The final ball from both teams has been shocking tonight. Gakpo, Jota, blocked. Goal kick. Did you forget to buy a kitchen with your house, says Stan? No, why? And don't... Oh, cooking with Goldbridge. No, it's time. I'm doing cooking with Goldbridge. Half time, 11 minutes added on. And a bit disappointed, actually, because I thought there'd be goals in this game. And both teams have been absolutely shocking in the final third. Remember, there's a second leg at Anfield here, so Spurs do need to get some goals. Cookie Gamer says, United are linked to loads of centre-backs, but why not Guehi? I don't think we're linked to any centre-backs, are we? One favourite Brazilian player from each past 3 decades. R9, Ronaldinho, Vinicius Jr. That works, doesn't it? Easy. Easy. Manchester United says, have you thought about building the Goldbridge Arms in your garage or your shed or your garden? Yeah, but it'd get wet. I was going to do it in the living room, but the wife would kill me. Neymar, no, Neymar's overrated for me. I've said it before. Good player, I do think he's overrated. I think what happened with Neymar is that Brazil had been starved of a good player for a while, and they saw in Neymar the next Ronaldinho or the next Ronaldo. I actually don't think Neymar is as good as people think he is. I think he's a fantastic player, but I don't think he's as good as people think he is. And I certainly don't think he's hit the heights he should have done. I think leaving Barcelona was a stupid move as well. Don't always agree with your views, but love you for who you are, says Darren. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Rubble Bubble says, what's something you can hold in your left hand but not in your right? Your right hand. Neymar versus Vinicius Jr. Well, Isaac has beaten Haaland 70% to 30%. So I will do this for you because I realise that Neymar is a little bit like Rashford. Player FC hypes him up beyond what he actually is, but it's not. That's my opinion, and it's not a dictatorship. So you can go Neymar or Vinny J. Are we due a car vlog soon? Yes, we are, Pocky. We are. I wanted to talk about something serious to you. So, did you see it on Sky Sports earlier? People can't say that we don't do serious. We do banter, we have a laugh, but this is serious. Sky Sports earlier, clip went out that the Metropolitan Police, clue 1, Metropolitan Police have referred a case to the Crown Prosecution Service, which I'll explain what that is in a moment, regarding a current Premier League player and sexual offences. Some say rape. I think it is rape, actually, but certainly sexual offences. That's led to a lot of speculation. Apparently, one of the offences happened in Barnet. I think a lot of people have suspicions about who this might be. That's not what we're here to talk about, because for wrong or right reasons, the Premier League club involved have decided to protect that player. If the Crown Prosecution Service decide that there is enough evidence to take this to court, and you contrast with what Man United did with Mason Greenwood, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's an interesting one. It's very difficult because you don't know the facts. But what I do know from working in that profession is that if the police have... It's the same as Mason Greenwood. If the police have interviewed and not discontinued the case... Basically, if the police pass it on to the Crown Prosecution Service, the Crown Prosecution Service are basically the police lawyers. So the police obviously think that there's a case to answer, and now it's up to the lawyers whether they want to take it to court. Now, Manchester United, with Mason Greenwood, from a very early stage, suspended him while the investigation was ongoing. Rightly or wrongly, they did. This football club, on serious charges, have decided not to do that. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, I can't really comment on it. The reason I bring it in is because it's out there in the public domain. I don't sit on the fence. So I think that it's very dangerous for the club involved because they will know a lot more than we do. And the fact that this has now been referred to the Crown Prosecution Service leads me to believe that this is obviously not just the stereotypical and wrong assumption that it's a fake claim or somebody trying to do it for, money. And this will reflect really, I mean, obviously the player's career is done if they get found guilty, but it reflects badly on the Premier League club as well, because you are effectively putting somebody's football career and loyalty to that over serious offences. It's going to be very interesting. Of course, the flip side to that coin is they might have information that they think it's a load of bollocks. But the real thing is that who are they to be judge and jury? It's difficult. And obviously supporting a club that took a different route. Both decisions are fraught with with danger. But I'd forgotten about it. I know it was mentioned about a year ago, 18 months ago, and it is the same player. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. And ultimately, as we said with the Manchester United case, there are victims in this case that ultimately, moralistically, supersede quite obviously what we think of that footballer and how important they are to your team. The only club Rashford will achieve at is Oshana, says Dull. Is Oshana still a club? We used to have an Oshana club in Birmingham and it had different areas in it. It had like an Icelandic vodka bar, a traditional pub, a discotheque. Bale or Beckham, says Brad. Not doing that one. Hello again, Mark. What's your favourite football moments? Hello again. The most asked question I've ever had and the easiest question I'll ever have and the most boring answer for everybody because it's always going to be the same answer. I can't top Solskjaer has won it. I just can't. It's just goosebumps every time. Start, bench, sell. Rottweiler, German Shepherd or Doberman? I do like Rottweilers. I'm not mad on Dobermans, so I'll bench a German Shepherd, start a Rottweiler and sell a Doberman. Do you honestly think Arsenal can win a league soon, says Goldio? I think if Arsenal had a striker, they'd win the league this year. That's my theory. I think Arsenal are a striker away from winning the league, which is why I despair at the entitlement of some Arsenal fans that want to sack Arteta, because I genuinely think you're probably one player away from winning the league. I think you'd be in a league title race this year if your players hadn't been so indisciplined at the start. I mean, you're not that far off Liverpool. You drew to Brighton because of Declan Rice getting sent off. You drew to City because Trossard got sent off. And you lost to Bournemouth because Saliba got sent off. That's probably 5 or 6 points there you shouldn't have dropped. So they've had a bit of bad luck. Obviously the Odegaard injury and now the Saka injury. But look, Liverpool are going to win the league this year. 2 years ago, you wouldn't have fancied that. So Arsenal are there or thereabouts. They've got no divine right to win it. But I think they are capable of winning it, yeah. Gravenberg versus Bruno G, says Rohan. Yeah, let's do that one. Either or. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. Bruno G. I'd call him Bruno 6. Bruno G or Gravenberg. I know who I would take, but it's your vote. What are your thoughts on Mamouche to City? I mean, another good one. Where are City getting the money from? I mean, is that the behaviour of a club that thinks they're about to get relegated? Look, Man City have done something wrong in relation to the rules. They have. Doesn't mean they're not going to get found guilty. Doesn't mean they're going to get found guilty, sorry. But they have. Like, everybody knows they got money into that club that nobody else can do at the moment. So they've done things that the Premier League wasn't set up to do. Whether the Premier League have got them found guilty or not, I don't know. And the fact that they're spending money, I'm starting to think that they're not going to get the punishment. And I don't know why the Premier League have took this to court, really, because if they lose it, they're going to look absolutely stupid. But the fact that Man City are going to go and spend 50 to 100 million pounds in January doesn't strike me as the behaviour of a club that's thinking maybe they'll get relegated. So we'll have to wait and see. I know Man City have got the money, Michael, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to get relegated, why would you be signing players in January? And why would players be coming to you in January? I think it's a good sign if you're a City fan, if you're spending money in January in relation to the court case. Because why would Mamouche be happy to leave Eintracht Frankfurt for Man City now, when he could wait till the summer, see what happens and join another club if Man City get relegated? So it doesn't make sense for players to be signing for Man City now, unless it's not going to be as bad as some people hope. Andy, I don't know what that is, VSM. Darren Giles has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Logan Smith says Vidic or Van Dijk. I'm not putting that up. We're doing Gravenberg, Bruno G at the moment. Do you think Salah can still win the Ballon d'Or or in December if he goes in the summer to Saudi? says live 4K HD. I think it's I think Salah winning the Ballon d'Or is problematic anyway, isn't it? I mean, for some reason he's massively underrated, as we always say. Red Devil Dazza says, my Sony headphones was looking tatty, so got a new model. The AI voice is not as attractive as the old one. I use the old one for the gym and the new one for when going out. Am I a bad person? Let us know in the chat, everyone. That's from Red Devil Dazza. Thank you. Opinions on Rashi potentially going to Spurs, says Adrian. I don't know where that story came from, but I genuinely think that Spurs Rashford would be a good idea. I think he'd do well at Spurs, but as a United fan, we're not giving him on loan. That's stupid. So you can pay for him, which you won't do. But I do think he would be a good signing for Spurs, but we're not going to let you have him on loan. So it won't happen. I know it happened with Chelsea, but it won't happen. It might happen in the summer as a loan to buy, but yeah. I think he would do well at Spurs because expectation at Spurs is a bit inconsistent, isn't it? Might suit him quite well. Do you think Arteta will still be at Arsenal in a year? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, as I said, there's an entitlement in some Arsenal fans, and I think some Arsenal fans just don't like Arteta, so you're never going to move away from it, I suppose. But yeah, I think he's doing a good job. He needs a striker. Don't forget, by the way, it's whizzing around the screen. Manscaped, 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. They've got the lawnmower. They've got the beard trimmer. They've got loads of stuff delivered to your door for free worldwide shipping, not for free. 20% off and then free worldwide shipping with the code footy. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. Check out Manscaped. Precision engineering for your family jewels, but trusted by millions of men worldwide. The complete male grooming setup with weed whacker for your nose, beard trimmers. This has got 20 different lengths on it, by the way. And obviously the leader, the lawnmower for down there. Makes a big difference. Trim the grass, make the yard look bigger. Right, players are coming out. This is not going to end until after 10 o'clock, is it? That's fine. It's fine. I tell you, I had a terrible night's sleep last night. Don't know what was going on. I was bloody freezing. Couldn't get to sleep. Felt like I'd been in bed for like hours, and then I looked at my phone and it was 20 past 2, which in a way was good because I was like, I've got another 4 hours, but I was like, I feel like I've been in bed for ages. Couldn't get to sleep. So tonight I think I'm going to go to bed in a pair of football socks, 2 pairs of jogging bottoms and a couple of jumpers. Apparently it's going to be -6 tonight. You know what? On a serious note, I just worry about the old folk. You know, it's expensive to heat your house, and that's a serious message. Get a weighted blanket. We have got a weighted blanket. Good point. Where is The weighted blanket. You've just absolutely changed the game there. We've got a weighted blanket, and you're right, they're brilliant. -10 in parts of Ireland, says Gur. I used to have an electric blanket. They were good. Electric blankets are good. They're bloody expensive, but they are good. If you don't know what an electric blanket is, basically it's this blanket that you put under your sheets, and it's got a switch, and you can just turn it on to different heats, and it's just heating underneath you. -17 in Aberdeen, says Jude. What do you do with your pipes in Scotland when it's -17? Bloody hell. Salah or Vinny J, who's been better this season, says Dead Zone. Be careful with that. My neighbour went on holiday 2 weeks before Christmas a few years ago and left their heating off. We had a really, really cold snap. Came back and one of their pipes in their attic had burst and water had just been running all the way down from the attic into the room below for a week. Imagine the mess. Salah or Vinny J, who's been better? Who won out of Neymar and Vinicius Junior? I didn't shout it out. It's 50-50 between Bruno G and Gravenberg. This is a cracker. It's been going for 8 minutes. Imagine the water bill, says John. Mate, if you're not on a meter, you're laughing. I had a house 10 years ago, and we weren't on a water meter. So I just used to run the water every day. For no reason, I just used to leave the taps running and go, still going to get paid the same. Still going to charge me the same. I didn't really. That would be ecologically immoral, but I could have done, and I still would have got paid the same. You don't get paid for your water. What I'm saying is, would you rather hug a crocodile or Andre Marinus as MT90? Well, I'd rather get some goals in the second half here, actually. Who's been better this season, Salah or Vinicius Junior? I don't watch La Liga, mate, so I'll be honest, I don't. So Salah. The Wet Bandits like Home Alone 2, says Scrock. No, Home Alone 1, wasn't it? Joseph Baumer says, how do I become a member? It will say join somewhere if it's available in your country. Tottenham tweeted about Bantanka. He is conscious, says Jurian. Good news. Do you think we will ever have a high-profile LGBT player in the near future? Keep up the good work. We already have, Vinny. They just won't come out because, unfortunately, although it's 2025, I guarantee you, if a footballer came out as gay, the way social media works and the way crowds at football games work, you know what would happen. And it's very sad. But statistically, there's no way we've got hundreds of Premier League male footballers and some of them aren't gay. There's just no way. 100%. Cheeky one. Forest or Liverpool for the league, says Darren. Well, it'll be Liverpool. Who would I rather win the league? Forest, 100%. I'd rather any team win the league over Liverpool. Maybe not Man City, to be honest. I've had enough of them. Does Mrs. G hog the sheets at night, Mark, says Move Maniac? No, because we've got a king size. I think a lot of people have king size beds now, don't they? I don't think it's seen as a posh thing. And when you have a king size bed, the sheets are so big, it's very hard for them to get hogged. Salah back post. Ooh, just over Gakpo's head. Maguire's been banned from driving, says Omar. Good job. We just need him to play centre-back then and not win the F1. Loads of footballers have been banned from driving over the years. Oh no. Mrs. Goldbridge has just said, I don't know where the weighted blanket is. Face-to-face meetings took place today between AC Milan board and Rashford's brother. AC Milan presented their project, but no formal proposal yet, still not advanced. Expensive loan and many clubs involved, including Juventus and Dortmund. I think Dortmund are out of it. Juventus is where we need to go. Douglas Luiz, etc. That's what we need to do. This can end in a draw, by the way. I really hope it's not going to be a 0-0, but it can end in a draw because there's a second leg. It is a bit of a boring game, Gun. I'm a bit disappointed. I Want Candy says, which injury is worse for Arsenal, Odegaard or Saka? Saka, because Saka gets goals and assists more than Odegaard. So... do you think Hamilton will succeed at Ferrari, says Dead Zone? I hope so, because I think ever since Verstappen cheated, it's almost like Lewis has been cursed, really. He's never had a car since that to compete in. Harry Maguire has been banned from driving for almost 2 months after admitting doing 85 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone. Fucking hell. That is a lot over the limit. 85 in a 50. Bloody hell. Super Cup final on Sunday, please, says Muhis. Kenneth said, would you class Arthur Albiston a United legend? He played 379 games over 14 years. In more interesting news, Mrs. Goldbridge has just messaged me. She's found the blanket, the weighted blanket. She's found the weighted blanket and she said, I'm not sure it'll work for you. Why? Because she's going to bloody use it. That's why. My idea. Adrenaline Gaming says, who do you want to win this trophy? Newcastle or Spurs? I think Liverpool will win it. I think they're the best team in it, but Newcastle or Spurs? Liverpool will knock out Spurs because if Spurs don't get a lead in this game, they'll get done at Anfield. Bruno G and Gravenberg is still locked on 50-50. Every now and again, we do an either or that captures the imagination. A few years ago, we had Bowen and Kulusevski, and it was locked on 50-50 for about 40 minutes. This has been going for 16 minutes, and it's locked on 50-50. Is it just me, or should Man City have a transfer ban until their court case is over, says Brennan? It's just you. Innocent till proven guilty. Because if they get found not guilty, that would be draconian to not have let them do transfers. Interesting matchup with Kulusevski and Gravenberg in the midfield, says Killen. I think both teams have sort of cancelled each other out a lot here, but I also think the quality of the final ball has been really lazy. I don't know why this makes sense, but I think if this was a Premier League game, both teams would take a lot more care, which is weird. It's almost like they've got... Oh, Alisson! Oh, just... Oh, no, he's still done it! Oh! Slip him in. This is surely it. What a miss. You're a twat. Pedro Porro, why didn't you go near post? Ange can't believe it. What sort of finish is that? Alisson gets himself into all sorts of trouble. Bergvall slits Porro in. Why has he gone across the face of the goal there? Look at this. This is laces near post. Watch. Near post laces. What is he doing? That is shit. That should be 1-0 to Spurs. Alisson, I don't know what Alisson's doing here. Bergvall does well. Check Alisson's bank account. Twice there. But Porro should score. Wormsod, what's the worst thing you've seen at a game? Well, as I've said to you a few times, and I mentioned it in my book, I was actually at Hillsborough. I don't think anything's going to top that horrific day. Yeah. Some horrible things. I mean, that Bradford one as well. That fire. I mean, that's horrible, that is. Heysel. Would you take Mendy at Real Madrid as left back? Says Donatella. I would take most left backs at the moment on a short-term deal. We just haven't got one. Is Henry the greatest Premier League player, says Vincent? I think he probably is. Rooney got caught drink driving 3 times the legal limits, says Constantine. When? I think drink driving's the worst, really. That is a selfish act, drink driving. Unless you've got an addiction, it's still selfish, but you can hide behind that addiction, can't you? But drink driving is just so selfish. I think if you get... Look, I've worked in that profession where I've caught people doing it, and if you're out for a meal and you have a large glass of red wine and you get pulled over and you're slightly over the limit, I can deal with that because you are allowed to have a drink and drive. It's just about how much you have. I think you can have a pint, can't you? But when you're massively over the legal limit, 3 times over the legal limit, you're talking 6, 7, 8 pints there, aren't you? That's just selfish because you can kill people. And when you drive drunk, your reactions and your perception is massively impacted. Or do drugs. I think it's such a selfish thing to do. It's like speeding's dangerous anyway. I don't know why people do it. Around where I live, 30 mile an hour. And people are whizzing up the road at 50 or 60. And you think, it only takes a cat to walk out and they're dead. Qatar or Ferguson with the Glazers, says Darren. Weird one. Qatar. Which club legend from the rest of the top 6 would get into the 99 treble side? Says Ethan Young. I wouldn't want to take anybody from anywhere. I'm very happy with the 99 side, thank you. Some people would say Salah would get in over Beckham. I wouldn't take Beckham out. Jota's coming off here. Very disappointed with this game. You can't I need a stretch. You can't pick them, can you, sometimes? And Nunez is coming on, and I think Gakpo's coming off. But Trent's coming on. Yeah, very disappointed with this game, got to say. Diaz is coming on as well. Not a bad 3 subs to bring on, is it? Nunez, Trent and Diaz. But of course, Liverpool have got the second leg. They've got Anfield. I think Spurs needed to do something in the first leg. A month away, though, the second leg. Remember, Spurs, I don't know what the injury scenario is, but maybe Van der Ven and Romero will be back. I don't know. Adrenaline Gaming says, I hope Spurs win. I'm 15 and I've never seen my team win something. Mate, I've got a horrible feeling you'll be saying that at 65. I hope not. Bruno G and Gravenberg are still locked on 50-50. Header straight at the keeper from Nunez. Couldn't really get enough power on it. I can't believe people still use green screens in 2025. I mean, fair, nothing wrong with them, but I was just having a look at something there that somebody sent me, and I was doing that 10 years ago. And some of them are crap as well. You could actually buy things that look like that better. Anyway, that's just a little bit of that. What skills did being in the police help in YouTubing, says Rohan? I don't think anything, really. I think all my skills for YouTubing came from... I was talking about this today. Like, I've always had the ability to basically talk to myself. Always. And I think that helps massively. Nunez cross, easy. Because you effectively, although I don't feel I'm talking to myself, I feel like I'm talking to 15,000 people. I am in a room on my own. Do you think Lewis Hall is the next England left back? I think he's doing really well, Sam, and I like Livramento as well. Liverpool aren't going to win the league, says Bazzi. I think they are. I think they are. United just posted a video on socials of the keeper jersey saying soon with tomorrow's date. New keeper incoming. What do you think it could be? I'll find out. It should be something obvious, but I can't think what it would be. Yeah, that's a good point. Here we go. Kulusevski. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's a good point from there. Kulusevski down the right-hand side. Crap cross. Really crap cross. No, it's gone for throw. Squays just said, what about, you know, interviewing people and dealing with things under pressure? I think the one of the skills I sort of took from it was that because you end up in the box quite a lot. And when I say in the box at court, you do have to give evidence a lot. And just like on TV, judges are judges are hard work, but lawyers are arseholes, and they don't give a shit about they're purposely trying to make you look a twat. So yeah, that's something that you have to learn to control yourself with, because I always used to just think, well, it's just a game, but it is tough, that. United just, I don't know what that goalkeeping thing's all about. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? I think it's going to be the Chiefs. I don't want the Chiefs to win it. They're Man City of the NFL. I would love anybody else to win it other than the Chiefs, but I think it will be the Chiefs. Andreas says, when we go to Anfield and bag points from Liverpool, we derail their confidence, form, and their entire season. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Might be a new goalkeeping top. Yeah, that's probably about right. I'd like the Bills to win it. They're an exciting team. But they won't be in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs because they're on the same side, aren't they? They'll meet in the semis. Oh, mistake by Dragerson. Diaz. And the keeper gets hold of it. Final ball, final third. Terrible from both teams tonight. Goalkeeper shirt is getting restocked. Oh, great. That's my club all over, that is. We actually could do with signing another goalkeeper, but coming soon, more shirts to sell. Mark, say one thing to Sir Jim, what would it be? I don't think there is anything at the moment, mate, if I'm being completely honest. I suppose the obvious one would be, what is your actual plan with the club? Because I'm not sure the truth around that is something that United fans really want to figure out. When you have flu, what's your favourite thing to do? Says Benny. I don't know. Be in bed, I suppose, but Kulusevski down the right hand side. Again, it's not a good cross. Diaz is going to get a foul and a yellow card there. Yeah, it is. The black kit's going to be back in stock, apparently. I can't believe I'm being asked this, Darren. Man United treble or England World Cup? Mate, let me make it even better. Man United League, I would take over England World Cup. I'm not that... if you'd asked me when I was a kid, I probably would have said England World Cup. I ain't that bothered. I'd like England to win the World Cup, of course I would, but I'm being absolutely honest here. I would not put an England World Cup over Man United winning the league at the moment. I just wouldn't. How's the new farming career going, Mark? Says Jake. Ha ha ha, very good. Thoughts on roof leaking during Amorim's presses, says Caitlin. But Liverpool leaked the other day. I think sometimes we're a little bit over the top about stuff like that. United, Old Trafford is falling down, but Anfield's not, and that was leaking the other day. Salah. Nunez, good save. Kinski. I don't think that was one of those Nunez misses, really. I think it was a difficult chance, well saved. Olsen says, national team over club. Not for me. Maybe under Tuchel it'll be different, but I wouldn't say I'm massively in love with the English football team. How is the Tottenham versus Liverpool watch-along, says King Brian. It's not been as good as I thought it was going to be. We needed a goal ages ago. And 20 minutes to go. Any cup shops for the weekend, says Clash. I do want to do, I mean, obviously I'm doing Arsenal, Man United on the United stand, but I do want to do a That's Football watch-along of FA Cup games. I think I'm just going to do the 3 o'clocks and hope we get a shock. I mean, Liverpool are not going to lose to Accrington Stanley. Man City are not going to lose to Salford. Spurs are not going to lose to Morecambe. So, good cross. Trent headed away by Dragerson. 20 minutes to go. Irwin or Neville, says PJ. I mean, I can answer this. Gary Neville will answer it for you. It's Irwin. Easily. It's not even close. Simacas, good cross. No one's there. Trent's on the back post. Oh my God, what a volley. What a volley by Trent. Dragerson cleared it off the line. The way he connected with that, that's why he's one of the world's best right-backs going forward. But the technique on this from where he was, look at this. Oh, just amazing technique. And fair play, Dragerson cleared it off the line. Good defending. As a lifelong Chiefs fan, we aren't the Man City of the NFL. We hadn't won the Super Bowl in 60 years before Mahomes. Yeah, you are, because I say you are now. So I don't like a lot. Mahomes is a good quarterback. I just find it boring. I actually quite like it when different teams win each year in the Super Bowl. Fred says, which team has finished in the top half of the table for the longest without winning the league? That's got to be Spurs, hasn't it? Son's coming off. 20 minutes to go. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. We are getting close to 1.3 million on here. Amazing community. Werner's coming on. Yeah, I'm sort of looking at the weekend here. I think the FA Cup starts tomorrow, doesn't it? Why would you start the FA Cup on a Thursday? There's 3 games in the FA Cup tomorrow. Everton, Peterborough. That's stupid, isn't it? You don't start it on a Thursday. That is really stupid. That is really stupid. Friday, Villa, West Ham. Saturday, loads of games. And Sunday, a few. I think there's some on Monday, isn't there? Millwall, Dagenham. That's a local derby, isn't it? Dagenham and Redbridge against Millwall. Sounds local, that. Why on the BBC does it say Spanish Supercopa to be confirmed against Barcelona at 7 o'clock? Are Real Madrid not in the final yet? Somebody said it was them. Maybe they're playing now. Maybe they're playing tomorrow. Yeah. Real Madrid against Mallorca, so it will be Real Madrid, won't it? That's mad, isn't it? Playing the semi-final in midweek and then the final at the weekend. That's a quick turnaround. Tamworth will knock out Tottenham. Who's got Morecambe then? Werner! Werner! With a burner side netting. Why bother? He's never going to change, is he? Never going to change. Werner is like the people in January who, January the 1st, they're down the gym. And you know, by the 20th of January, they'll be back in Greg's ordering a baked bean melt and a sausage roll. As always next year. It's just never going to be that guy, is he? Do you think Man United will make it top 5 by end of the season? No. Absolutely not. FPL Fozzie says, if you're a manager, would you wear a suit at the game or tracksuit? Well, you know what I do when I'm the manager. You wear a suit. Although 1 year I had to wear a shirt and trousers because it was too bloody hot. But yeah, definitely smart bridge. There you go. Martin Chivers, 2-time League Cup winner with Tottenham. He looks about 90. That says everything. That's a piss take by Sky. They've literally just gone to some ex-player who was a 2-time League Cup winner and he looks about 90. They have just, Sky have just absolutely bantered Spurs. Lovely ball over the top. I think you're offside, Solanke. It's a lovely goal. I think he's offside. No, he's celebrating. He's celebrating. He's onside. He looked offside, but I thought he was offside. And he's on. And he took it very well. That's a big goal. That is a big goal, and they need that. They need to take something to Anfield, and they have a goal here. He took it really well. I'll tell you what I would say is if that's onside, there's got to be question marks of this defence. Off. He's off. Goldbridge don't get it wrong very often. I've played the game. He's off. Definitely. VAR does exist. Yes, it does. It might be tight, but I think he's off. If Trent's played him on, nah, he looks off there. Although it's the line of the camera again, it's hard to tell. I mean, you know what? I can't believe they're still... I can't believe they're using lines and a Nokia 3210. I tell you what, whichever way this goes, I feel sorry for both teams because you can tell, look at the pixelation on that. This is, well, it's not the Premier League, but this is basically the Premier League. And they are scanning in on a Nokia 3210. I can't believe they're still drawing lines. I can't believe it. It really is a joke. It's, you know what? It's absolutely embarrassing because the technology for instant and accurate offside has been there for years, and we're still using enhanced. I mean, it was embarrassing. You could see them scanning in on Trent, and it was like a sensible soccer player. 8-bit graphics. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They don't even have a straight line camera. You can't. This happened to us at the Emirates last year with Garnacho. You literally, you know what? In the future, when people don't get pissed off, they will do a reveal on this. A referee will say, "We didn't have a fucking clue, really. We knew the accuracy wasn't there, and you were basically making a guess." I think it was offside, by the way. I do think it was offside. But what I'm saying is, the way that they're figuring it out is a joke. Apparently the referee spoke. It's the first time this has happened. Well, why are people getting a stiffy about that? Oh, the referee spoke. Doesn't mean it's fucking... Doesn't mean... So, what? What did he say? Gladiators, ready. The decision is offside from video automatic referee. What 3 players would you want to leave United, says Darren? Casemiro because of his wage, Rashford because it's just never going to work out, and trying to think of... Yeah, probably Anthony, I suppose, at this point. Oh, he's an Australian referee, this one, isn't he? Gillette. What's this? FB says LGBT flag for a mainstream sponsor, yes or no? I don't know what that means. Ange has even admitted that Werner is crap, says Caitlin. Thoughts on Blackpool, says CCM. What, the team or the place? Which team is fit? I've done that one from Fred. Oh, Luke, sure, I'd get rid of him. I just forget about him. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. 9 minutes to go. Spurs needed a goal to take to Anfield. They've scored a goal, but it's been offside. I think it was offside. And Liverpool would, to be fair to Liverpool, they were playing offside. It wasn't a lucky offside. They were playing the trap. What's your first World Cup memory, says Binny? I vaguely remember Jeff Hurst scoring the winner against... No, I'm joking. I vaguely remember Argentina, England in '86. I was ridiculously young, but I just remember the living room at my grandparents' house and everybody was in there. And my granddad's the reason I support Man United, and he loved football. And I remember about a week before we were around there, and he was going on about this Argentinian player that had torn Belgium apart and was one of the best players he'd ever seen, and it was Maradona. And he wouldn't shut up about him. He was saying he's one of the greatest players I've ever seen. And then after that England game, he was going, he's an absolute cheat. He's a disgrace to the game. And I thought, this is quite an interesting lesson in changing your opinions on footballing emotion. There we go. Kulusevski. His right foot has been shit tonight, and everything's been off it. There we go. Nunez down the left-hand side. Dragusin in close attention. I've got a really bad stomachache. I don't know what's caused it. Another hit by Gakpo. Is that Gakpo? No, Gravenberch. Straight at the keeper. Gakpo's gone off. I can't believe this poll. It's the best poll we've ever had. It's still 50-50. We've had 12,000 votes. Either or, Bruno Guimaraes or Gravenberch. This is going to go down. If it still stays like this for 5 minutes, this will go down as our GOAT either or ever. Gravenberch and Bruno G locked on 50-50 for 45 minutes. This is very, very rare. And the only other one I can remember, there was another one, but I do remember a few years ago, Bowen and Kulusevski. But February the 5th. So about a month away from the second legs. Tsimikas is down injured for Liverpool here. Should have been a red, says Bonga. Worst traitor, Sol Campbell or Michael Owen? Here we go. Bergvall. Goal! 1-0 Spurs. He's took it well. The young Frankie de Jong has he's been fantastic actually the last couple of games for Spurs. I think he's a star in the ascendancy. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. And that is a fantastic finish on his right foot. Absolutely fantastic. Lovely goal. And that won't be being ruled out for offside. They've got something to take to Anfield. I think they probably do deserve it. Liverpool are having a wobble at the moment, certainly. Man United drawing with them at Anfield, and now Spurs looking to beat them. Although, there's something going on. They're going mad at the referee. They booked the referee. The referee's booked Arne Slot or his assistant. I don't know what Liverpool are moaning about here. Solanke holds it up well, plays it into Bergvall. No, there's not an offside there. There's no offside in this at all. Solanke comes hard from deep and then lays it off to Bergvall, who slots it in the back of the net. I think what they're moaning about is that Bergvall should have been sent off, which is probably what I'd be moaning about if it had happened against United. But I think the offside was a little bit unlucky, so we're probably in the right position here. Sets it up nicely for the second leg. Or does it? Here's Diaz. Across the back post. Oh, they're still there. Salah's been quiet tonight. He can have quiet games. He's just a human. Yeah, a lot of people saying Bergvall should have been sent off. Who would have thought this, eh? Spurs clean sheet. Don't forget to check out Manscaped. 20% off with the code FOOTY. Delivered to your door. Get the lawnmower. Free delivery. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Well, Liverpool and Arsenal both losing in these semi-finals was probably not predicted. There are second legs to come. Trent, good block. He'll get another one. And it's headed away. It's Crossbows, not very happy. Bergvall should have been sent off. We were robbed. I think the referee, though... yeah, you're right. I know. I'm just trying to think, yeah. VAR could have intervened if it was a red card tackle. I don't think it was a red card tackle, though, was it? So the referee's got to get the second yellow right. VAR can only intercept if they think it's a red card challenge. Anyway, Spurs defending isn't necessarily... If you could delete one... I tell you what, though. If Spurs could navigate the second leg at Anfield and set themselves up a final against Newcastle and win it, Ange would be right. Always wins a trophy in his second year. Ronaldo says, comes hard from deep is crazy. I meant run hard from deep. Sorry. I was getting excited. Odie says, if you could delete one team, Mark, no big teams. I've been asked this before, mate. Honestly, I don't really... There's not really any football team I'd want to delete. I wouldn't delete Liverpool or anyone like that because I like the rivalry. A lot of people saying the first yellow card was soft anyway. He's a talented player, that Bergvall. I tell you what, a Newcastle Spurs final would be good though, wouldn't it? Because both those teams would be desperate to win a trophy and both those teams would fancy their chances. I mean, look, they've just shown it there. They are both yellow card tackles, to be fair. But VAR can't intervene on those. That's the referee. You can't blame VAR for that. They can't intervene on yellow cards. They can only intervene if it's a red card, and neither of those tackles are red cards. So if Liverpool fans are frustrated, I actually do agree with you. Watching them back, if you get yellow for one, you've got to get yellow for the other. But that's the referee on the pitch. And some referees are like that. They don't want to send a player off. It's the inconsistency. But you can't blame VAR for it. You can't blame VAR because they're not allowed to come in and say, I think you should give a yellow for that. Nihal says, what glasses are those? I think they're Prada. I know what they are. They're Prada. I got them because of the red bits. Because I wear my glasses a lot. And I want a bit of red on there. Hash Steve says, I think Spurs will bottle it at Anfield. Mate, I honestly think Liverpool could score 3 or 4 in the second leg. So, Lipsy says that Bergvall had a trial at United, but deal fell through due to Brexit. I have some common mates with him in Stim. He's a massive United fan. I think he follows me on Instagram, or he used to. Years ago. I don't know whether he probably doesn't anymore. So that would make sense. Come on. Can't bloody spell. Oh, not E. Oh my God. 4 times I hit E instead of R. Lucas Bergvall. I'll tell you what, he definitely used to follow me. Doesn't follow me anymore. Right, unfollowed. Right, you're actually shit, mate. I think you're fucking shit. You don't look like Frankie de Jong. You look like a bloody Frankie the Donkey. Everything I've ever said about him, I'm taking it back. Cheeky bastard. He used to follow me. I followed him back. Now he doesn't follow me. Yeah, you're not the next Frankie de Jong. You are the next Sean Longstaff. Absolute. Yeah. What's your go-to pint and shot at the pub? Shot? I don't do shots. You don't do shots when you're in your 40s, do you? I didn't do them in my 30s. Werner, lovely ball to Kulusevski. But strong defending. And 7 minutes being added on here. End the poll. You can't end the poll on 50-50. It's still 50-50. Bruno G and Gravenberg. Exactly. Frankie de Jong, more like Frankie Goes to Hollywood when it comes to footballing ability. The first one wasn't a yellow. Spurs versus Newcastle final would be fire, says Sully. What's your go-to pint, says Darren? At the moment, if I'm in a pub, I normally have a Peroni or... What's that? Is it Asti? That's all right. Oh, Diaz wants a penalty. Didn't look like a penalty to me. Let's have a look. Nah. No. You're not going to get a penalty for that. A little shove in the back. Never. Do you remember the Battle of Hastings, says John T? Obviously I don't, but it is one of my favourite battles. They're actually going to do a BBC drama series on the Battle of Hastings. It's got that guy who was in Game of Thrones, Jamie Lannister. It's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my, Battle of Hastings is one of my 3 favourite battles. Battle of Hastings, Battle of Helm's Deep, and the Battle of Hoth. They are the 3 best battles ever, in my opinion. Battle of the Bastards, Battle of Endor, come on. It's just a bunch of teddy bears running around. Oh yeah, let's throw a few stones at a bloody missile launcher. Oh, the stones have won. Oh, let's cut a couple of trees down at exactly the right time and crush an AT-AT. Bog off. Rip you all up. Just incinerate you all. We've been having roast bear for dinner. When I was a kid, I liked the Ewoks. When I grew up, I realised what a shower of shit they actually are. I used to like Return of the Jedi when I was a kid, because it's a kid's film. Empire Strikes Back. You won't get any bloody Jar Jar Binks or Ewoks in that. I'll tell you what, if they turned up in that, Boba Fett would blow the bloody head off. What's your... am I doing a United Stand show after this? No. There's nothing really out there, is there? Nothing big. Oh, there's another Liverpool player just gone down in the box. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We might have some late drama here. VAR are looking at it as we speak. There's a Liverpool player down in the box. The game has played on. It's Curtis Jones. It's Kulusevski. Pulled his shirt and kicked him in the back of the ankle. Might be something here. No. No, they're not looking at it. I think, look, I'd like to see it again from a better angle. They're obviously not going to give it, are they? Because he's blown the whistle. What I will say about that is, though, if he's kicked through the back of him, it's a penalty, but we haven't seen it from the right angle. So VAR must... Well, I'm not going to say those words, VAR got it right, but... Van Dijk's talking to the referee, saying it should have been a second yellow. Referee's probably shitting himself. He knows he's made a big mistake. Who won the poll? 50-50. It will tell me in the back system. Bruno G. The longest 50-50 poll we've ever had. Bruno Guimaraes had 50.4% and Gravenberch had 49.6%. So Bruno G did win it. Another bad result for Liverpool. Terrible referee, says Kirel. How was that not a penalty? I think it looked like a penalty, but I haven't seen the replay. Excuse me. And look, can I just say to Liverpool fans, because this is one of the things I say all the time. And, you know, clip it up if you want to, put it out there if you want to. Some people do it when I'd rather they didn't, but I don't mind this sort of stuff. I said this at the weekend. There was a handball that might have been a handball for United that Sky never even showed the replay of. There's a contentious penalty decision at the end of the game there. There's been one replay. And in certain other circumstances, for certain other teams, they'd be showing that again and again and again. But it doesn't suit the story that they want Spurs to win. So they haven't shown it again. that I would like to see that penalty shout on Curtis Jones in slow motion from a different angle. And we've not been shown it. And this keeps happening. There was a really good Twitter account the other day, a United account, and they'd analysed all the decisions that had gone against United over the last 2 years, and basically were calling Sky out as well. And I think that's really shocking that they haven't shown that replay of that penalty again, because it leaves people going, it's not a penalty, it is a penalty. But you know, the producers there going, we're not interested, we want the Spurs win. And actually, we as a paying public should get to see that at least twice to make our own mind up. And I can't make my mind up because I don't know whether it's a penalty or not. I hope it's not. I hope they've got it right. I want Spurs to win. But I can't sit here hand on heart and say I'm 100% sure that's not a penalty, because we haven't been given that view at all. And I think that's shocking, really bad. But it keeps happening. I came up with the Bruno G. Gravenberg poll, says Rohan. Well, you can sleep well tonight. You've also come up with the best either or of the season. Well done, pal. Thanks everyone for watching. Back tomorrow with some content as usual on this channel. Everybody's welcome. Make sure you subscribe and smash a like. And I'll speak to you in a mo. Thanks for watching.